you are watching, and I am trying something out here. Gonna see. Hey, hey, hey. And for those of you on Instagram, if you're watching, want to know who's there. Hey, Beauty by Yvette. Hey, Sharon Petaway. Just got a little something. I am getting ready to go watch the Grammys. I know it's already started, but hello, Eliza, MK Lady, Mary Kay Team Leader, Kimberly B. Norman. Hey, D. King. Got something good for you. Would love to see if you're watching me on YouTube, if you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching all the things. How are you watching? I'm looking for all the comments here. And I just wanted to share something of what I received today. And those of you who want to come back and follow me on YouTube and on my MK Rock Solid tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is 4 p.m. 4 p.m. I will be back live on my YouTube, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'll be back live on my YouTube and live on my YouTube, my Facebook, and Instagram. And I just wanted to share this with you and let me know if this inspires you. How many of you feel like right about now we need spiritual refreshment? Like today, I needed a spiritual refreshing. Can I get an amen in the chat? Like, can anybody give me an amen? I needed that. Those of you watching, wherever you're watching, make sure you like, follow, share. I appreciate it. And so this is about you have to start to finish. It's what it's about today. You have to start to finish. This was so good. We have these New Year's resolutions. My whole wall over here is my vision wall. So it's a black wall. I have everything else is white, but this entire wall is black. And I have these black frames on a black wall, and it's all vision, some of which I need to take off because I accomplished them in 2024. But how many of us have goals that we set in 2024 and they still didn't come about? There's some things over there that have been up there for a while. My number one goal, my number one biggest goal that I have for myself is a tithing goal that I have. I set my income goal based on the amount I want to contribute with tithes. And it's a 6-figure goal. And that is 10%. For those of you who are not Christian, it's based on 10% of your income. I'd like to give more than that because I believe in offering and first fruit and all of those things. But that's my number one biggest goal. And I haven't hit that goal yet, but I'm believing God that with consistency, it can pay off. But I just wanted to talk about, we set these New Year goals, and it's like, we have got to believe we can make it happen. And so this was so good today at Fellowship Church. Pastor Sean shared a message. And I mean, when I tell you, I couldn't write fast enough. He talked a lot about the power of execution. Execution separates dreamers from achievers. It's one thing to set a goal, and it's another thing to execute the goal. Can you type execute in the chat? Like, well, maybe not type execute because that might not be, it's like how you have to say unalived on social media. Just type an X in the chat, okay? Type an X in the chat. Oh, we have to watch our words, but we understand what it means when we say EXECUTION. Execution separates dreamers from achievers. And so this really hit home today. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Can I say that again? Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. I am, that couldn't be more. Sometimes you read the Bible and you're like, was this written yesterday? Because this is what happened yesterday. Okay. Hello, MK Girl, me, G. Hello, Charlotte Walker. I appreciate you. Renee, who just joined us, and Queen RMT on Instagram, James Beauty. Appreciate you. Just talking about you have to start to finish. We're revisiting those goals we set on December 31st. And it's like, now we got to believe we can make it happen. Psalm chapter 90 and 12 says, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. I was just talking to a girlfriend who was really going through it. She's moved to a new state. She's just really, really, really going through. And we were talking about the importance of community. And she said, and I want to be in community with people of my age group. Those of us in the 50 plus club, I just had a birthday. Okay. If you want to know how old I am, I'm 2 years from the next big one. So if you think I'm 30, that would mean 40. If you think I'm 50, that would mean 60. If you think I'm 20, if you think I'm 19, that would mean 20. So guess which decade. But gain a heart of wisdom. I'm like, Lord, my prayer this year has been, Lord, all about my eyes and ears. These are the two things I'm praying for every single day. My eyes and my ears. Open up my eyes and open up my ears and close my ears to the things the drama that I don't need to hear. Now, there's so much drama going on in the world. And I know some people say, turn off the news. I'm not turning off the news. I want to know what's going on, but I need to see it with spiritual discernment. And that is so important. So we focus more on our intentions versus our execution. We focus more on our intentions than execution. And so my word for this year is build. But in order to build, you have to execute. We've got to execute. So I'm just going to give you 3 things, and then I'm going to go see. I'm going to rewind back and start from the beginning and watch the Grammys because I want to see how they're going to honor LA and how they're going to do right with raising funds for so many, even my friends that lost everything they had. Everything they had in their home, right? I had no friends that lost their lives. Praise God for that. So the first thing, I'm just going to give you 3 points. Just give me like 10 minutes here, is many times we lack a clear plan. We have to have a clear plan. Genesis chapter 6, 15 and 16 says, this is how you are to build. Imagine if Noah didn't have a clear plan. Imagine if God said, I want you to build a big boat. I was like, okay, what's a big boat? You got to have a clear plan. Genesis 6 verses 15 and 16 says, this is how you are to build. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, 30 cubits high. Make a roof for it, leaving below the roof an opening 1 cubit high all around. Put a door in the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. And that's just 2 scriptures about how to build. God builds with precision. Type precision in the chat. He builds with precision. What are you building with precision this year? Like, ouch, OMG. Resolutions fail when they are vague. So you want to know why most people have already aborted. I typed this to somebody yesterday who started with me in business at noon, and by 6 o'clock, she had quit. And I said in the text, I am so sad that you aborted your dream before you even had an opportunity to give it birth. Hello. I know there's been so much talk about abortion, but we're more aborting our dreams than we are aborting anything. And I have obvious opinions about all of it, but it's not my opinion that matters. It's God's word. But that's just so powerful. Resolutions fail when they are vague. Noah had a specific plan, and so do I. So do we. If you don't have a specific plan, I challenge you to take time to write the vision and make it plain. A vision without a plan is just a wish. I made some notes here. Turn your vague goals into actionable plans. That is what's going to cause you to keep going. I love that, Zaza. I love that. Precision. I love it, Deborah. Thank you. Deborah. Is it Deborah or Deborah? But it's Deborah. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Morgan. So I'm just talking about executing your plans. And I have big goals that I want to accomplish this year. And so I want to accomplish them. And they have got to be, we have to execute in order to get them done. The second thing is lack of consistency. The second thing that causes people to lose the goals before they even start them, or you started maybe January 1st, January 7th. It says most people, I think it's by the 21st. I used to think it was 21 days for a habit. It's not 21 days for a habit. Actually, according to Dr. Carolyn Leaf, it's 3 consecutive times of 21 days. So it's 63 days. Dr. Carolyn Leaf is like a neuroscientist, super crazy. If you haven't followed her, go follow Dr. Carolyn Leaf, because what she teaches about the brain and about the mind, the power of the mind, but from a scientific standpoint, is so, so, so powerful. So it's lack of consistency. We got to start strong. I say this all the time. I say this all the time, over and over and over. We have to start strong to finish strong. We have to start strong to finish strong. And we give up when the progress isn't fast enough. We live in this world. I just really appreciate, I know that Morgan Self is watching. And one of the things I've learned so much from her is about my health and wellness goal. Got a big health and wellness goal, y'all. I'm 4'11", so just a little bit of extra can, little bit of extra on the hips can show. And so it's not just that you start, but it's all about consistency, 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 consistency. If you're not following Morgan Self, make sure you go follow her, because she will help you step up your game big time when it comes to eating. I will say, I did not know anything about counting my macros before I began being coached by her. So that's a good thing. We give up when progress isn't fast enough. A lot of people treat their goals like the lottery. Like, it's just, if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And we all know what the odds are of us winning the lottery. It's not just about focusing on results, but it's about focusing on consistency, and consistency will deliver results. So I just said I was hopping in here for 10 minutes just to talk to you guys about starting to finish. I say and repeat all the time, we've got to start strong and finish well. We got to start strong and finish well. And it's just so important you do both. And so the third thing and the last thing I want to share is how important it is to allow God to support you in following through. I mean, it is absolutely positively not possible to do this alone. You have to take him with you. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2 says, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and he sat down in the right hand on the throne of God. Consistency, you guys. It is impossible. In and of myself, I can do nothing. I have to be able to ask God and pray for his consistency, for him to give me the ability to be consistent. Do not despise small beginnings, you guys. You can start a diet in the middle of a cookie, right? Absolutely. And so I just wanted to leave you with being inspired today. Your success is not about your human effort, but being in alignment with God and believing that you can accomplish what you've set out to do. Move while you're motivated. Make progress. Go in and write down again what you said you were going to do on January 1st. If your why is strong enough, you have to have your material why and your emotional why. Your material why is, the number you want on the scale, the number you want in your bank account, the house that you desire, the grade you want to get in your class. But your emotional why is what gives you the ability to knock it out, right? Like you were pressing your way. You have to have an emotional why, the emotion behind it. And so when you write down what you want, you have to say, why is this important? Why is it important? Consistency can build what motivation cannot. So every day, in order to accomplish what we're calling ourselves to accomplish, we have to be consistent, build with vision and focus. And really, you can do it. If you want to just start off and say, what's one thing you want to be consistent in this year? And if you decided that you were going to give it 100 hours. So let's just say I'm speaking today because I talked about a message I got from my friend, Pastor Sean, today. And so he gave an example of, I want to be consistent. I want to read the Bible consistently this year. For some of us, because I know I have many people of faith that follow me, 100 hours might seem small, but for most people, that's a lot, okay? But 100 hours is 16.4 minutes a day. If you just wanted to get consistent at doing something, it can even be working out. Okay. For someone who has never been consistent in working out, 16.4 minutes. And you get distracted a little bit. So let's just say it was 18 minutes a day. If you did 18 minutes a day, whether it was, just pick one thing that you want to get better at. It could be reading. Do you know most Americans don't finish a book in a year, let alone a month? So if you just read, let's just use reading. If you read for 18 minutes a day, you would have finished 100 hours in a year. That's like 4 solid days. You could teach yourself anything if you were consistent with daily discipline. Goals happen brick by brick, day by day. Some days you stack the bricks up like crazy, and other days it's like I just did 1 brick. But are you willing to do something every day? You can't build success in a day, but you can build it daily. What you're not finishing, what you're choosing to not finish or put energy into, you are choosing to own. It's not going to change unless you decide to change. So you want a different outcome, it's got to be different execution. Think about, what do I have to start doing and what do I have to stop doing? So just like make a chart and decide, what does that look like? Just pick one thing and then you can add something else to it. But if we just build more habits, I have I'm like crazy digital. Anybody who knows me knows I love technology, and yet I still have a paper date book because my life is that full. And so one of the things I wrote down on my Sunday list was to revisit my habits list. I mean, there's something, Pam Shaw, who I follow and love, she talks about framing your day, the habits of the morning and the habits at night. What we do in the middle is what most of us have to put energy into, but how you frame your day when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed, that makes such a difference. And so I wrote that down today, is to revisit my morning and my evening habits, because I'm sure you're the same way. And it's not just for me, it's not just morning and evening, but it's also how I start my week. Like there's certain things that if I don't get them done on a Sunday, and I don't start and my room is clean and certain things are in order, like my whole week is like jacked up. It's just jacked up. So I promised 10 minutes. I just have a couple minutes left. So 18 minutes, set a timer. I keep a timer somewhere. Oh, this is one of my favorite things, is this timer. And I can do it with or without, but just 18 minutes a day, 100 hours in a year, you could build a new habit. We don't need more time. We need less distractions. I love TikTok. I love social media. I really do. And it's my one guilty pleasure. I don't have a whole bunch in addition to travel and, some things that I do enjoy spending money on, like eating out. But we don't need more time. We need less distractions. I really agree with that. Do you agree with that? Like, give me a 1 in the chat if you're like, I agree with that. Hey, Kelly, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Hey. Someone I admire a lot. And so this was inspired again by Pastor Sean from Fellowship Church here. I just really was motivated as he shared today. And as I started, I said it was like a spiritual refreshment. You have to decide, what is it that I'm going to do even if I don't feel like it? There's this whole saying that people started saying a little bit ago, that I'm in my feelings. And that's the problem. You're in your feelings. Okay. That is exactly the problem. We do what we feel like. Y'all, the world is challenging right now. America is challenging right now. There's just a lot going on. Hello. It is like month 2 and we feel like it's been 2 years. And so we don't have the luxury of just doing what you feel like. You have to do what you're called to do. What are you called to do? Don't just celebrate completion, celebrate progress. Celebrate progress. I wrote down some things that I'm committed to doing under here, but just continue to build the bricks and do not despise small beginnings. You have to start to finish. You will never finish anything that you don't start. So is it a book that you're going to write? Write a little bit in your book. It might just be one little thing. Is it a marathon that you want to run? You got to start by walking the block. Like, what is it that you want to do? We know the story about the Israelites who took an 11-day trip and turned it into 40 years. I'm like, Lord, help me not hesitate. Help me not be distracted. Help me not believe in BS, the belief systems that don't serve you. God doesn't need you to be ready. He needs you to be willing. Be willing. Noah wasn't even a shipbuilder when he was called to build a ship. So be willing. I'm going to close with these last two scriptures, Ecclesiastes 11:4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Hello. If you wait for all the lights to turn green, like you ain't going nowhere. Just go ahead and park at the house. Go to bed, as a matter of fact, because you won't do anything. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in a proper time you will reap a harvest. I want to just encourage you. I know that November 2nd, all of us want to revisit. Give yourself credit for what you did in January toward the goals or the resolutions or whatever you want to call it. But now it's time. Like the people that are really going to get the job done and do something different. A lot of us said, I'm going to thrive in 25. Well, hello. Thriving is just starting. Let's just be consistent. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I joined a hiking prayer group Wednesday mornings. So pray for me. Pray for me. I'm like, I think I need to get an Oprah stick, the Oprah stick, because I'm going to hike. Hello, I'm going hiking. Okay, pray for me. But I could look out my window and see Mount Diablo. I can look over here and, I'm going to hike. So, we'll see what happens. 2 hours on Wednesday morning, going hiking. What are you starting this year? I want to encourage you to give it a try and just never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. So be encouraged. I pray that inspired you. And deuces. See you later. I am going to go and watch the Fire Aid on the Grammys and see if I know. It's always fun to see. Will I know any of the songs? Will I know any of the songs? I hope they have a little bit of old school. I hope there's a little bit of old school in there so I can get up and dance and do a little bit. Okay. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you. Bye-bye. I always get confused. This is always so funny because on TikTok, I never know where